Hey, welcome to Water-Fed Wednesday, where we go beyond the bucket and dive into the world of water-fed cleaning and answer questions about our equipment, our businesses, and our goal of helping cleaners worldwide get the job done faster, safer, and better. I'm your host, Alex Brunner, and today with us, our special guest is Cole Blakey with Wow Pressure Washing Services. Just as we get the audience built up here, just a couple of reminders. If this is new to you, welcome. But feel free to check out our previous episodes. You can do so over at our Facebook page if you're on Facebook, which is RHC Tucker Pole Systems, or if you're on YouTube, head on over to our channel at Tucker_USA. Don't forget to subscribe, like all those awesome things, and check out our previous episodes. So, Cole, thanks for coming on. We really appreciate your time with us, and definitely look forward to learning more about you and your business. So, can you tell us a little bit about yourself, where you grew up, what led you to start Wild Pressure Washing?
Absolutely. Well, first of all, I just want to, thank you, Alex, and everyone at Tucker for giving me the opportunity to join you on the Waterfed Wednesday podcast. I always tune in, and I always really enjoy all the content that you guys put out there. A lot of great information with great guests. But first of all, for anyone who doesn't know, I'm Cole Blakey, born and raised out of Columbus, Georgia. Um, well, some of the things that I like to do that make me who I am is, of course, spending time with my family. And it's also a great motivator on why I got into this business. As you can tell, it's a family owned and operated business. So family is everything. So whenever I do have some downtime, I like, hanging out with my wife and kids, whether it be painting, coloring, doing puzzles or little games around our home. If we're not doing that, we like to get them out, go to the park, visit with their grandparents. Their grandparents have a little pool, so sometimes we'll just
Hmm.
dive right in, have a good time, grill out, things like that, or we just go out and hang out with friends. But that's really most of our life. There's a little place here, and I always recommend anybody passing through Columbus or in Columbus to go check out Callaway Gardens. They have a little butterfly area, so you can walk around and look at all the beautiful different types of butterflies and turtles and whatnot. And you can also rent out bikes and ride them around. It's really nice. So.
Awesome. Does sound good, and especially the pool. I know, living in the South, any chance you can get into some water, that it will feel nice. So we got Jamie already chiming in. Jamie Hallman, what up to you? And definitely love having Cole on
Hey,
here.
Jamie.
So awesome. So let's now we know a little bit about you and your what you like to do for fun when you're not out cleaning. Could you give us kind of give us the origin story, if you will, of Wow? So obviously, Wow is a family-owned business based, like you said, in Georgia. So what was the inspiration behind starting this service?
So initially starting out, I was 12 years old. I had buddies, they were getting, allowances every month so they can go out, hang out with friends and whatnot. And I asked my dad, hey, can I get an allowance? And he said, well, I don't get an allowance, so you don't get an allowance. He said, I got to work for everything I got. And, I'm going to instill that same, mentality in you. So he had this old 2.5 or 2.4 gallon per minute Troy belt pressure washer, and it was absolute trash. But he helped me fix it up, so I learned a little bit about working with my hands in, maintenance on it. And he said, "We're going to practice by cleaning our home first." And of course, I didn't do house washes at this time or anything like that. I just stuck with the driveway, patio, walkway, curbs, things like that. So it took me forever to get done with it. And I told myself, I was like, man, I hate pressure washing. And my dad said, well, look, if you like it enough, just let me know and we'll go knock on our neighbors' doors. And we already had a really good rapport with our neighbors. And so I felt very comfortable doing that. I said, you know what? If I can make money doing this, I might just like it because I wasn't getting paid to do my parents' house. So uh, I said, all right, Dad, I love it. It's my passion. He said, oh, that's great to hear. So we went over to my neighbors, sold the job. It was super cheap because I was very upfront. I'm a young boy. I got all summer. I just want to make some money on the side so I can, get baseball cards or a new glove or whatever else. And, it's going to take me a while to get it done, but I'm going to do it right. And they said, okay, well, just can you do it tomorrow? And I said, absolutely. They moved their cars out of the carport, moved all the earth stuff out of the way, potted plants, so I didn't have to deal with that. I remember dragging that pressure washer right on over there, and it took, a whole weekend to do this super tiny driveway. And when I got done, I was like, again, I hate this, but I got paid, and I was like, that feels good. And then he left a tip too, and I said, okay, I can get used to this. I was like, it's like working out. I just got to keep doing it. And over time, because my dad told me, and he was there every step of the way when I was real small, and he said, look, son, you can go out and buy whatever you want with that, or you can reinvest it so then you're not having to kill yourself and be there all weekend. So then I started doing research on things that can make it easier, such as like little, surface cleaners, just plastic, but it covers more surface area. Trying to get, chemicals for post treatment so it doesn't leave those ugly lines behind,
Right.
just so the quality of work looks better. Because, again, when I leave a job, you see a clean driveway, but I see my name stapled to that driveway. Anyone's going to come by, they're going to say, who did that? Either in a good
Mm.
way or a bad way. And when they say the Blakey family, it can make our name good, or it can make our name real bad. So I learned that way, and that was kind of my inspiration. Also, it was just really satisfying just seeing it go from dirty to clean. And you also get that instant gratification. When you walk away, you're like, I did that. Every time you pass by, you're like, hey guys, check this out. I did that. It's just, you feel very
Yeah.
proud of what you're doing. So it was something that I knew that there was a sense of pride, a sense of passion. I knew that there was people that are willing to pay to get it done.
Yeah, absolutely. And I love the sense of pride. Even when I had my business years ago in the Denver metro area, I still take when I have the kids in the car and drive by an old commercial account. Hey, your dad used to do that. So absolutely, you better do it right, so because your name is on there. Absolutely. So you kind of walked us through the early days there and how you got started. Um, w- were there any major hurdles that you have to overcome?
So most of the hurdles, they weren't anything major. It was all a lot of little minor things. And um, it was more so, equipment failure. So I had to learn how to fix something on the fly because I wasn't going to quit on a job, but also I wasn't planning on, um, trying to, skis my way through it. I want to do high quality of work. So I was like, I need to fix this machine so my machine can work for me and I can do a good job. So slowly learning to fix on the fly, and then slowly adapting and getting better surface cleaners, getting better equipment, and then also just learning how to take care of myself. I mean, little things, having a neck fan, a fan for your little belt line to blow air through your shirt, wet towel in the ice chest, bringing an ice chest so you stay hydrated, using liquid IV. Because I mean, at the end of the day, we're also a tool. Because you can have the most expensive equipment, but if you don't know how to use that equipment, it's useless. But also, if you're not physically capable to use that equipment, then it does no good for anybody. So just slowly learning that I also got to take care of myself along with my equipment rather than just being one sided.
Oh, very true. Yeah, if you're not functioning the best, it doesn't matter what equipment you have. Absolutely. So let's go into the scopes of services. So you offer a wide range of cleaning from roofs to windows to parking lots to uh, equipment and even striping, right? Striping asphalt. Which services do your customers tend to request most, and why do you think that is?
So I believe my customers tend to call us more so for soft washing. Reason being, everybody's either has a home or, they have a piece of commercial property that we're dealing with. And, a lot of people, they want to try pressure washing and doing it themselves, or they'd rather pay, a friend's kid or have their own kid do it, or they want to hire somebody small to do it. And I always give them a business card and say, hey, if you're having a family friend try to do this, here's a card, give me a call if you have any questions. Because, like I said earlier, I was that 12-year-old kid and I didn't have anyone give that helping hand. So, if I don't ever get a concrete pressure washing job, I always give a card and say, hey, if that kid has a question or you got a question, I'd rather you do it properly and efficiently. And I can just kind of save you the hassle. I'm not going to charge you. Just give me a call, and or you can give me a text, whichever works. But when it comes to soft washing, that's a whole different animal because some people are willing to tackle it, but some people don't really want to tackle it because either they don't have the time and availability to do the job, or it's kind of one of the high risk things they've heard the horror stories about killing vegetation, burning off their plants, or accidentally staining paint or removing paint, discoloring paint. Sometimes if you run too hot of a mix, it can remove the oil from the asphalt shingles, or it can again cause damages or discoloration, anything like that to any sort of piece of property. So a lot of people don't really want to play with that. They'd rather hire somebody that's licensed, insured, professional, that has the expertise into doing it efficiently and also doing it properly. Um, so generally, when people call us, they want to get their house washed. And the best thing is, while I'm there, I always say, "Hey, while I'm here," and then I offer to give them a quote on everything else: the pressure washing the concrete, window cleaning inside and out. Anything I can get my hands on, I give them a free estimate, and then give them a bundle price, which is a discounted rate. So then they're able to get what they want, and their whole home is getting refreshed all at once. Because at the end of the day, they're a hardworking American just like me. They want to get their home refreshed. I want to, get business. So we're going to find a place to meet in the middle. So if you're allowing me to do more for you, then you're going to get a lot more savings. And that's the biggest thing when it comes to soft washing. The next thing that comes in hand is window cleaning. And when it comes to windows, I trust Tucker. I've been trusting him since the beginning because beforehand I was on a ladder with a squeegee,
Mm.
shake, my knees buckling. I mean, it was I'm not a big fan of heights. I'll get up there, but you got to pay me to get up there. So when I got with Tucker, I felt safe and it was efficient. It delivered the same quality results, and I fell in love.
Awesome. Yeah, it um, definitely helps get over those humps, especially getting up on the ladders, for sure.
Oh
And
yeah.
and the results look amazing. So awesome. We got a couple people chiming in. Looks like we got some family checking in. Proud of you. We are as well. We got Les chiming in as well. He's frequently on watching us, so thanks for uh, chiming in, Les. And we got the boss man, Sean Gavin, checking in. We do have a question from Richie. I believe you mentioned earlier you're from Ireland, and he was asking, what Tucker brush do you find best to clean the Georgian windows, or we like to call them French panes around here, like the ones behind you?
hmm So the one that I use the most often is going to be the you have the synthetic boar hair brush. I really like that. Ever since I got it, because it came with my Tucker 50 high modulus pole, and I use that in everything. I'll switch between high modulus to the Bravo, but I love that for any sort of application. It's absolutely stellar, and I feel like it does make the difference having that. So to me, my personal preference and bias goes towards having that synthetic boar hair brush. So
Yeah, we brought that glide brush. I'm trying to think. I think end of last year, and it's the feedback has been tremendous. A lot of old faithful boar hair brush people. That's their uh, brush that would recommend forever, and which has some great aspects to it, but it does wear quickly, being that it's boar hair. So the glide has been a real favorite, and even to got us confident enough that we are going to include that in every poll that we ship out. So hopefully that's what you're looking for, Richie. Yeah, definitely check out our um, Tucker glide brush. Awesome. Well, let's get back into it. So, we talked about the wide variety of services that you offered. Soft washing is the most popular, especially in that South area where we get all the organic growth, right? Here it's a little different.
yes,
It's
sir.
pretty much dust is all we have. So, window cleaning is the main service to making the home stand out. But definitely in your neck of the wood, the soft wash. And then when you before you're using or cleaning the windows, what do you find after you did a soft wash? What was the interaction from the customers like if you just left it without cleaning the windows?
Well, generally, I always tell the customer before I even do the job. I tell them because, like I said, I give a whole scope of I offer these services. These would be the prices if they're you pay for them individually because I'm having to set up, take down, go back home, travel. So there's more travel fee that I have to constantly schedule you. So it's taking up more time. But if we do everything at once, again, you're getting greater savings. But I always mention, I say, look, when we're going ahead and doing the soft wash in your home, there's a potential that, again, it might leave a very thin film on your windows. Generally, it won't happen, but again, when you get a refreshed home, the paint looks brand new, your wood looks brand new, everything looks brand new. Why don't we just make those windows sparkle? Why don't we make them shine? And if you look at it from a very peculiar angle, it'll look like almost like a mirror. Jamie Hallman, shout out to him. He actually posted a video recently, and it said, he was like sending a picture to a customer. It was a video they followed up with, and he said, "All right, just got done cleaning your house," and it was the person across the street's home, and they said, "Oh, that's not my house." And then he zoomed out, and it was just the window was so clean that it was reflecting that. Like who doesn't want
Yeah,
that? Who doesn't want it to
right.
shine and sparkle? But I mean, Jamie makes amazing content, which you guys already know, and I saw that, and I was like, "That's awesome. I really like that." So it's one of the things where if you're gonna do it, let's just do it all. Let's make everything really
Yeah.
pop, shine, and look brand new, almost like you're putting this house up for sale and you want to really increase the value of it. Let's just get it done right.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's uh for you, you have a wide variety of services you can offer to them. Anyone listening, if you're not yet offering window cleaning along with your pressure washing, soft washing services, definitely look into it. As you mentioned before, Cole, you're putting your name on this, and somebody might walk by, wow, this house looks great, but the windows didn't. So just remember that's your name on there. So just another little service, and it helps increase your ticket cost or pricing.
Absolutely.
All right. So getting back into our line of questioning, I'll just got a couple questions here. We'll just go over them, and then you can split it up how you like it. Standing out and reputation. Um, your next door reviews definitely rave about your team's professionalism and thoroughness, especially Chris and you. How do you maintain that level of customer service? And the second, or actually, there's a few more,
Mhm.
but how do you ensure customer satisfaction? Do you have any policies around follow up or post cleanup inspections?
So the first thing I'll definitely talk about is the professionalism and thoroughness, and then I'll talk about the customer satisfaction. So when it comes to the professionalism, thoroughness, and having to maintain that level of customer service, the biggest things I like to point out is be on time, be transparent, and have integrity in what you do. Be proud of what you do. And if you really treat every home as if it's your own home or as a loved one's home, you can never go wrong. My dad, he was a master tech for a very long time for BMW. He's a brilliant man, and he always told me, he said, before, every car I touch, he said, I act like your mom, you, and your sister are going to be getting in that car. And if I don't feel like that car's safe for the road, I'm not sending it out. It's staying in my bay until it's right. So I kind of have that same mentality towards a home. I'm going to stay on that side of the house until it's done right. Then I'll move along. And, to also kind of tie into the post cleanup inspections, follow ups, and to ensure customer satisfaction, whenever the job is complete, before I knock on that door or call the customer, to come on out, walk around with me, I like to just walk around one more time and just QC and make sure everything looks really good. And I know you mentioned my father, Chris, but the people that are doing the job were actually out there, doing all the labor is me, my mom, Joy, and my wife, Jimena, which she commented earlier. Big shout out to her, and I appreciate her being here. Um, but we do the job, and my dad, he more so just sits on the truck. And I was talking to Alex briefly about, why he's more so sitting down. Again, he's a very brilliant man, very intelligent, but he's a great emotional support because whenever I have a question or I'm in doubt, because I'm already 2 or 3 jobs in, I'm dealing with a hot Georgia summer. Now I'm having a mechanical failure. I'm kind of a little frazzled. And my dad, he's calm and collected. He's not overwhelmed. And he just says, just stop and slow down. You're over here right now. This is where you're thinking, but you need to be thinking this way. So he can make sure that I can continue to operate. And he's kind of like a second brain for me. He's not doing anything physical. He's not, able to do any sort of physical labor. A long time ago, he had to deal with a lot of medical issues and it's put him on the sideline. And rather than him sitting at home and watching a movie, I like to bring him out there and have him with me because I would never leave my dad in the dust or have him sitting alone at home. Uh, Again, he was there holding my hand when I was 12 years old. So I'm going to be here holding his hand when I'm 24 years old. And it'll be like that until he just doesn't want to sit on that toolbox anymore. but he means a lot to me. Again, unfortunately, he can't do the work, but I tell him death by a thousand cuts, nitpick me as if you're the one paying. So when I get done, he'll tell me how it is. He's gonna say, son, don't give me a bad name right now. And he'll look at someone and say, really, but when that customer walks out, I tell the same customer, or I tell that customer the same thing. Nitpick me, before you put money in my hand, please nitpick me. The equipment's here, I'm here, everyone's here. We're gonna make sure you're taken care of. And they walk around, they can't see nothing because I QC'd it, my mom QC'd it, my wife QC'd it, now my dad QC'd it, and he's not frazzled, he's not feeling rushed. He's gonna really nitpick. If he sees something, if anyone's gonna see it, he's gonna see it. He has a great attention to detail, and again, I think that comes from being thorough, his thoroughness in the mechanical field. But that's mainly the thing that I do to retain that customer service and to ensure the customer satisfaction. No upfront payments unless you're dealing with something that has to do with asphalt maintenance, seal coating, line striping, crack repair, pothole repair. When it comes to that, it gets more expensive on the product, so I have to have a down payment. But when I'm just cleaning your home or your commercial property, I don't want anything up front because I don't want you to ever feel like, there's a chance for me to scam you or you're not going to get what you want. But
Yeah.
if you haven't given me any money and I'm working out there in the heat and I do a real thorough job, and then I give you the chance to walk around and really nitpick me, and if you want to wait until your husband or wife gets home or kids get home and you all want to walk around, I can come back later, later in the week and collect payment. But I just want to make sure you have the chance to speak up because I want my customers to feel heard. Because sometimes people, they just blow and go. They don't care what the customer thinks. They don't care what the customer says. You paid for soft wash and I put the chemicals up there. I rinse it off. It's not my problem anymore. So that's the biggest thing. If the day that I don't really care to do that is the day that I won't be in this business anymore. Because without customers, I'm nothing. So that's the main thing that I really hit on.
Awesome. Love hearing that. Working with integrity, and going back, it's being a family business. Everyone involved. When I had my window cleaning business, my wife was heavily involved with it, and it just made it that much more special, for sure. So, going into it, our next point, um, business and quality standards. So, as the business owner, how do you decide on the equipment and cleaning products that you use? Do you have any eco-friendly or industry leading tools that you swear by?
So, of course, I'm here on the Tucker podcast. One tool I always swear by is the Tucker water fed pole system, right? I'm gonna have bias here. I have the Bravo pole, I have a DI filter and everything. I got, the yellow hose reel. I got plenty of the red hose connectors, everything. I got a Y splitter, all that. And also got of course, my baby, the Tucker 50 high modulus pole. Man, and I said it in a post recently on Instagram and Facebook. It makes big jobs feel small. And when a product or a tool can do that, then it's right for you, And so that's one thing. Another thing I'd like to hit on is if you're looking to do, or if you're looking to use chemicals that are eco-friendly. I know EBC, they supply a lot of great chemicals that are environmentally safe and friendly. So that's one product I'm sure a lot of people have heard about in our industry. But if you're a homeowner looking to do something yourself and you want to keep it eco-friendly, and you're not really familiar with this, search up EBC. Again, they do a lot of great chemicals that are eco-friendly. And I know another thing I was going to mention as well was another tool is, or the one way I decide about tools and everything is I want something that's going to increase my efficiency without compromising my quality. I don't want to be the fastest man in the world, but I don't want to also, take 10 years to do a small job. Because again, at the same time, I'm a business and I have to have time to, for my other customers, so then I'm able to have a steady source of revenue. And so I have to walk this fine line, quality efficiency. I have to tool that kind of I always look at major factors, and also I make sure that if I get a new piece of equipment, it's within spec of whatever I'm using. I'm not going to have a new hose reel. I'm not going to have to get a new hoses. I'm not going to have to reconfigure a bunch of, or one tool makes me get 10 other things, so it's all about convenience as well, I believe. I know tools using the past efficiency from the get-go is I got a DN10 ball valve. And when you're transitioning from a surface cleaner to your gun, the pressure washing gun or anything else, it makes the transitioning period a lot easier. When I was starting out, I had to turn the pressure washer off, switch, turn it back on, and then turn it back off when I want to switch. And then instead of having to use the pressure washing gun to rinse off the dirt and debris, I can use the ball valve. I just take it off the surface cleaner, put the surface cleaner on the side, and I use the ball valve, and I use the ball valve to rinse off the dirt. So it increased efficiency, but it didn't compromise my quality. So that's the biggest things I really look at when buying a product, a tool, or anything like that. Those are some of my recommendations.
Really cool. Awesome. Definitely, efficiency is king. Definitely believe that, and it overcomes. Yeah, you you want to focus on efficiency. If you're just all about hustle and you're it might look cool to others in the industry, but you might skip steps, and it obviously goes back to making sure you're doing everything the right way. Awesome. Where
Absolutely.
looks like time wise, we're approaching the 6 o'clock hour your time. So I definitely want to be respectful. I know we had a lot of questions. So if you don't mind, maybe we'll just might skip around. Hopefully that doesn't mess you over. But I wanted to just touch base. I know you're pretty active, really active on Facebook, and that's where a lot of people might be familiar with you, and some other avenues, Instagram and YouTube. So what role does social media play in generating new business? Any favorite posts or videos that drove some amazing interest?
So when it comes to social media and getting business sales, I think it does play a part because it shows that you're legitimate and you're trying, and this is something that you're doing full time, right? You care about what you're doing because you're willing to put yourself out there. I've had a lot of customers in the past, they'll look, they'll get two or three estimates, but we stand out because of our professionalism, as well as they'll see, okay, you have a following on here and here and here, and they go on our website and then they see we have local sponsorships. We have a great deal, ambassadorship with a very reputable company. So they see that we're easy to get along with, that, we're accepted in our community, and it's something that it does speak volumes. Because right off the bat, if you're getting recognized by a reputable brand, then, I mean, you must be doing something right. So when people look at our website and they see those sponsors or ambassadorships, and then when they see our social medias and see people actually following and liking and sharing our content, it does make us look a little more professional than others, because again, we're putting forth that effort, and again, we're very transparent in what we're doing. So if you're curious about how we clean our windows, you can go to our website and there's pictures of me holding a tucker pole, and I have pictures of windows before they're clean and after they're clean. So it really does help make the sale, and it also proves to the customer that we're capable of doing what we're going to say we're going to do. And then when it comes to stuff that's really stuck out there and got a lot of attention, I find that humor seems to do pretty well on social media. I feel like a lot of people don't really want to deal with the stresses of life or politics or anything like that. So they want an escape. And if you're able to make them laugh, they're kind of escaping from whatever stressing them out. It's just a quick relief. So I post little funny things occasionally. But one that did really good was there was, I was pressure washing this little courtyard area, and I said me at work, and then below it had this kid. His name online is the Rizzler, and he made this little rap song or whatever, and it said my earphones, and it's just something. It's pretty stupid, but it made me laugh, and I was like, well, if it made me laugh, maybe it'll make somebody else laugh, and it did good, and it got over 17 million views on Instagram.
Wow.
So it did all right. So I think sometimes just have fun with it. And if you're willing to have fun with it and kind of just be very joyful in what you do and be passionate about what you do, it generally sticks. But that's the stuff that I see. Don't try to fake a personality, just be yourself. And if you want to share serious content, share it. You're going to get the right audience. If you want to share nothing but strict business, you're going to get business. But just my biggest thing is just be yourself. Don't put up a front, and just have fun with it.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Good advice. Yeah, be yourself, and have fun and bring some enjoyment to other people. And definitely, I do get a kick out of the posts for sure. So definitely keep it up. So we talked about, obviously, you're a brand ambassador. So, and we're thrilled to have you with us. So, what does that partnership mean to you? And then just what Tucker tools you're using? You kind of touched on that, but how have they impacted your workflow and your service offerings? So,
Well, it means the world to me to be able to get recognized, uh, by such a reputable brand such as Tucker. It means a lot to be able to be affiliated with Tucker. So just getting attention alone is great because I'm like, man, they're noticing what I'm doing, and then to actually become affiliated with you guys meant a lot. And I remember when I got the news, I'm kind of a little side tangent here, but I was on the way to Panama City Beach, and my wife was going through our business email, and I got the email saying, congratulations, you're, a brand ambassador, if that's what if you're still interested. And I was so excited. I wanted to pull over the car and jump out and just be like, yes, fine, yes. It was such a good feeling because this is like my white whale. I really wanted to do something with Tucker at some point in my career because, again, you guys make stellar products. The customer service is excellent. And again, you guys have built a really good uh, group of people, creators, business owners, and it's a very healthy network to be a part of. And to me, that means the world. So having that little email, I was like, yes. I was like, this makes this vacation 100% better. I'll never forget this vacation. So that's why it means a lot to me, and it means a lot to my family. And then some of the tools, like I said, I have a DI filter. I have the yellow spool. I have some of the red hose, as well as I have some connectors like the splitter, and of course some of the ball valves that come with it. I have the Tucker 50 high modulus pole, which again I use on every job, big or small. I don't care. I love that thing. It is my baby. So I love having it. It's really cool. Then I have the Bravo pole, and that was the one I initially started out with, and I love it. But again, when I got to that 50, I was like, no, I'm gonna love them equally. It's like having kids. You're like, no, I don't have favorites. But in this case, I can have a favorite, and I'm just that 50. If you don't have the 50, I really recommend go out and get it. Um, because the first time I ever had it, or I felt like I needed it, was I had the Bravo pole, and I was trying to get up on a hotel. It was 5 stories going up to 6. He was like, man, I'll pay you whatever to do this job because no one else would do it, or they were going to use a lift. And I was like, all right, well, let me get this pole. This is a good brand. I trust it, so let me try to get it. I got a 50. I blew through that job, and I was just like, wow. Normally, I'm the one making the customer saying wow, but you guys made me say wow, and that says a lot. So
awesome.
I really enjoyed that. But yeah, there's some of the tools and equipment that I have. And again, like I said, it really means a lot to us. And we're very grateful and thankful for the opportunity to be affiliated with you guys.
Well, we're definitely glad to have you on board, for sure. Uh, like I said, we are going past the 6 o'clock hour East Coast. We're at 4 o'clock Mountain. So maybe we just finish up a few things here. Um, let's see. I definitely want to touch on this. How do you balance running the business with the family life, especially since it is a family venture? You're not only you're out in the field working, but then you're going back home. So how does that work out?
So it's really nice because, I don't ever tell myself, man, I wish I had more time with my family because I'm always with my family, always. There's no break. But the good thing is we have a really good, healthy relationship, all of us. And, when it comes down to balancing that business and family life, it's really just about setting boundaries for yourself. Um, so when I get home, when I cross that threshold, that front door, I'm done. There's no business. I don't want to talk about it. I'll turn my phone off or put it on the charger away from me in the kitchen, so I'm not even tempted. Sometimes that phone just feels hot, and you're like, I gotta check it. Um, so that I do that, and then if I'm really like peak season, then I'll actually schedule days where I'm not allowed to schedule clients. I'm not allowed to market. Like this day is nothing but family day from beginning to end. Like I need to do that, or I might just get a little over ambitious and say, oh, I got some availability. Because again, I'm really passionate at what I'm doing, and I really want it to succeed. So every time I get an opportunity, I want to be able to take it and nourish that opportunity. So sometimes I have to put a stop to myself. So throughout the months, I'll have set days where we'll all have the availability and we can go again, like I said earlier, to Callaway Gardens and ride bikes, look at butterflies, go through the exhibits, or again, we can go to the beach or anything like that. So I try to schedule it during peak season just so I don't get too crazy and I'm working 7 days a week or whatnot. But during the winter time, I generally have a lot more availability, and that's the beauty of being a business owner is
Yeah.
you have your peak season, but you have your slow season. Use your slow season to get ready for the peak season. And but during that time, I have a lot of time to come over. We watch college football and everything at my parents' house, play board games, and it's just a really calm environment. And I feel like that's where I get my catch up family time. But during the peak season, I'm nonstop thinking about it, nonstop going. And when the kids go to sleep, my wife goes to sleep, I'm still up. I'm doing something with marketing or kind of dreaming up ideas to throw at the wall and see what sticks. But that's kind of how I balance it.
Well, thanks for that kind of insight in how you do it with your business, and I really appreciate that because a lot of times it's like you get into business, and that's what people get into business for the families. They can spend more time with them, but then they get so involved with it, and next thing you know, it's like, where's dad, right? So
Mhm.
I like that where you schedule that time to ensure you're just you're spending that time, the quality time with them, setting the business aside. So thanks for sharing that. So looking ahead, where do you see Wow pressure washing the next 5 years?
So, I mean, I just see us continuously to grow. Of course, no one just explodes on the scene and is making X amount of money. It just doesn't work that way. It's a small, substantial growth. And for me, I just see that every single year, all the way up to 5 years, 10 years, 20 years. I just see it slowly growing until, again, we can't grow anymore or we refuse to grow anymore. Because, I mean, you can grow as far as you want. We're in the land of opportunity. We can do what we want when we want. But for us, I want to get to a point to where it's not out of control and quality is compromised. I want to be able to keep it in house for as long as I can. Eventually, I mean, I do see it maybe hiring an employee or two, but we'll see because things change, ideas change. But right now, I see it just still staying as a small operation, family owned and operated. Keep that and probably building maybe a second rig or something. I know when my kids get a little bit older, I'd like to build a second rig. So then, we can split up and do more jobs. But right now, there's no point in it. It's still down the road. But that's where I'm seeing it. And I mean, yeah, I would say that's really about it. Just kind of going one day at a time and just making small progression. When I look at last year, I'm doing better this year. And then this year, I'm
Yeah.
hopefully looking back and saying that um, I'm saying the same thing that we're progressing. I just don't want to see it decline. So really, just slowly growing.
Awesome. And back to it's your business. Uh you have your vision and you know what you want. So that's awesome. Uh it's awesome to see how when I'm chatting with people how they envision it, and I love how you still want to keep it that core, that family business. So I love it. So we're going to do a little rapid fire segment, and then we'll go ahead and sign off. But so here we go. Favorite tool in your van?
Tucker 50 high modulus pole.
Right on. All right. How about this? Best cleaning tip homeowners often overlook.
Without a doubt, removing the screens off your windows. Look, if you're not going to open your windows, remove the screens. If you do open them in the wintertime or summer or whatever, I understand. But a lot of homeowners I come across, they'll have screens on the windows and I'll remove them. I don't mind at all. But I always ask, hey, do you even open your windows? And most times they say, not really. And I say, here, why don't you take it out, put it in your attic or basement or the garage? And they say, you know what, let me do that. And because we do annual service cleanings. So when we come back to clean it, the screens are out of the way. So it makes it easier on us, makes it more affordable on them. And again, if you're not using it, if you're a homeowner, remove the screens.
Yeah. Cool. Are you a morning person or a night owl?
Morning person, definitely.
Cool. So in the morning, are you a coffee or a tea drinker?
100% a
Morning.
coffee drinker.
Okay, right
without
on.
a doubt.
uh, bucket list service challenge you love to try.
Service challenge. Are you talking about just like a dream job or just, I
Yeah,
guess,
yeah,
oh, I guess if I had to, again, I love college football. I would love to be able to clean one of those really big, prominent schools, college football stadiums. So then, just like you were saying, you drive by, hey kids, your dad did that. Every time we
yeah.
turn on the TV and it's these two teams playing, I'm like, hey, we did that. So something that since we watch college football a lot, it would really mean a lot to be able to get that opportunity.
Awesome. Well, very cool, Cole. I really appreciate the time you spent with us and going a little overtime. So thank you and your family. So for you joining in, if you're just joining in, don't worry. You can catch up on this episode and all the other episodes on our YouTube channel. It's Tucker_USA. Or if you like to check our Facebook business page. They're going to be there as well, which is RHG-Tucker Pole Systems. So once again, thank Cole. Thank you for joining us, and thank all of you who are joining in for joining us this week. Please come back next week for our episode 26. Take care, guys.